abilities for the incoming traffic. We also have a Polar Proxy. Polar Proxy is a very popular used technology for distributed databases. Even for RDS, we have something Polar Proxy to support the load balancer. Polar Proxy is used to generate unified endpoints called cluster addresses. Another thing, when we have PolarDB, it can be easily integrate with other Alibaba Cloud products like OSS, object storage, and from object storage, we can take the data to other big data processing engines like ADB, like Max Compute, and so from the OSS we can take the data and transfer it to other big data processing engines like ADB, like Max Compute, for further analysis, for further data analysis of the uh, for the for the analytics. So next is physical replication. The natural benefit of leveraging the shared storage, which is Polar Store shared storage. Previously in RDS there is a primary and replica kind of modes which use the local storage, their own local storage they are using. So for replication we will send the data, and based on the bin log we can create the replica of the same primary node. But here in the PolarDB we have, as we are already using Polar Store, which is shared storage, so once we will send the data from the primary node, the same data will be available into the replica, so there will be no latency only for the redo logs, as it is tracking all the inputs, all the information is tracked by the redo logs, so we have to manage only about the redo logs. So using the replication, if we are using the old method, so we have to use the bin log. But in PolarDB, as the storage is shared, so there is no need for bin log. As soon as the data is entered into the storage, so the same data will be available for the replica also. So what are the differences between PolarDB and RDS? So here is some points which we mentioned here. High availability. If we are talking about high availability about PolarDB, which is active, but in RDS it is active and standby. So read-only nodes for backup, also providing 2x convergence throughput rate. So read and write separation also support up to 15 read-only nodes in PolarDB. But in RDS, in a normal databases support up to 3 to 5 read-only nodes, which cause high latency at RO nodes. So the capacity is another option which PolarDB support up to 100 dB, but in commercial, in normal databases, this is up to 3 dBs. Performance is 2 to 6 times throughput over RDS MySQL under high concurrency scenarios. If you want to upgrade, downgrade, the elasticity is in 5 minutes only. But in normal databases, it took hours. So high durability, 3 replica for underlying shared host storage powered by RDMA. But in RDS, it is local SSD and cloud SSD is available. Price, performance, backup options, these are also the plus points for the PolarDB. So this is just a review of the PolarDB. So PolarDB is 100% compatible with PostgreSQL, with MySQL, and high compatible features with Oracle. So it has 8 indexes: B-tree, hash, gin, gist, spgist, from, bin, bloom, multimodal data types are available in the PolarDB, and some other features are already mentioned here. So PolarDB for Oracle is already supported up to 100 dB. Write and read isolations is there. Built-in high availability features available for PolarDB. So this is a small introduction about the PolarDB. I hope you enjoy this session. If you have any query, if you have any question, please let us know. We will be more than happy to support you, to help you to answer your queries. Thanks for watching. Bye. If you want to follow me on my LinkedIn and Twitter accounts, these are mentioned here. I will be more than happy to answer your queries. Thanks a lot for watching. Thank you. Bye.
Hello, welcome to Roopu Cloud Summit 2020. I'm so glad to talk to you right now. But who is this guy? Well, I'm Nestor Campos from Chile, South America. I'm senior consultant in EY Chile and also an Alibaba Cloud MVP with many years of experience in Alibaba Cloud, in virtual machines, databases, big data, artificial intelligence. And right now, I'm going to talk about Alibaba Cloud Image Search. So the first question really is, what is Alibaba Cloud Image Search? And is an intelligence image service based on deep learning and machine learning technology or platform or service. By incorporating image recognition and search, it allows you to search by image across different industries and business scenarios. You can understand all these words. If you don't worry. I'm here for you, for explain you what is image search and why it's a great service. Another definition is image search is developed to meet the requirements of searching and finding similar or identical images. So now I can say you can build or develop a search engine with image and not word or text. So now you can imagine the possibilities, the opportunities with that service. For example, you can image a web app where you can upload one image and return similar image in a catalog of products, for example, or everything you can think right now. But now you maybe have another question. Who is using image search? The most famous app using that great service is AliExpress from Alibaba Group. In the mobile app, you can upload one image with one product, and the service search and find similar or identical products and showing to you for buy and or compare for buy later. So right now you can think more opportunities with that service. So now you can think about it's a great service, but it works with my use case, with my new project or actual or current project. So the question is yes. Why? Because image search has great benefits. For example, here are 5. High accuracy provides industry leading search service. So you can image as another search engines. Image search is a new, great, excellent search engine for search, obviously, and find images. So it's not about text, it's about image, it's about photos, it's about products, it's about everything. Fast response to queries in milliseconds, so fast. You can work in China, in Singapore, in Europe, in America, and your users can be in every country in world. Large volume supports over 10 billion items. So it's almost limitless. You can upload billions or millions of images, photos with your products, with your image, with your landscape, with your people, with your card, etc. and use for comparing. Later, we are checking a demo. Real-time interface allows you to add or remove data dynamically because in the world, everything can change. So obviously you don't need old photos, old images, so you can remove and add new photos for the new products or new images. Customization provides customized development for your individually requirement. So everything you are thinking right now in your current or future projects, you can build in with image search. But before you can build with image search, you need to understand the two types of image search. First, product search. It's used for online shopping. For example, product search supports you can specify a category for image. Later, again, we are reviewing a demo with product search. And generic search is used for every type of use case, doesn't need to specify categories for that image. If you don't understand again that's two type, no problem. Here, for example, product search, similar are the example of AliExpress mobile app. Here, you can have a web app or mobile app where you can upload an image and returns with similar images. And generic image, opposite to product search, is not about objects, it's about everything. It's about landscape, it's about people, it's about everything, etc. I mean, you can image generic search when you can find similar images without a category. For example, in product search, you have category, for example, shoes, bags, snacks, etc. Here, you have not categories for landscapes, people, but image search can find similar image for that context. Now, you can think about your opportunities with that service. You can image ideas for new projects, but your question is about the security. How is managed my data, my images? So here is the question, and here is the response. Image search doesn't save the image, just features for every image. So you can imagine, upload an image search extracts features of that image, extract vectors, data, text, numbers, etc. The original image is deleted and image search saves the features. The image doesn't save in image search. You don't worry about the privacy. Your data is your data. So here is, for example, when the user uploads a photo for search, here you are training data, you are training images, and the training saves the features. And here the user in testing upload a photo for search, for example, a bag, and image search again extract the features and compares that features with the training features, the image for training you can upload before. So you don't need it for worry about the security in that service. Now, how can we use image search? And there are three ways. First, with Alibaba Cloud Web Console, or API, or SDK for many languages. For example, .NET, Python, Go, Java, etc. So you can build every type of project when you can build everything. And what about the pricing? The pricing is in subscription mode, in a monthly mode, when you prepay for every month. If you are newbie in that service, no problem, you have a free of search for the first month, and later start with $300 every month. But until now, too many words, too many explanation. But how about a demo? Let's look at a demo right now. So I'm going to share with my screen in Alibaba Cloud Web Console, where we are going to train with image and search with test image. Follow me. Now I am in Alibaba Cloud Console. I'm going to search and find image search. Here I type image search, and here in DT plus image search I select, and as you say, you can see the service type, product search and generic search. You can have many instances for every type. For creating a new instance, you can create here. Create instance, when you can select the region, the type, the queries per second, the capacity, a name, of course, for example, Roopu Cloud Demo, the package type. Here there is one package type, And the duration is you can pay for a few months and not without auto renewal, and you can see the final price. For demo, I can a product search instance. You can select right here and you can see the ID of that instance, the name, for example, the status. If you select 1 month in the package, the instance will expire soon, in 1 month specifically. The date and action, for example, renew or downgrade in the package in the queries per second, or upgrade if you need more image or velocity. And I'm going to select. You can see basic information again, the capacity here, the number of image supports in my instance, the package type, and the query. And here 4 options. First, search by image. Here it's the testing. You can upload an image and test similar image, but where is the similar image? In the web, in internet? No, it's similar image you upload before. Here in add sample image, here you train new data. The image search service find similar or the image in which you upload before, not image in every website in internet. But operation if you need to upload many or thousands of images in a batch. For example, if you have image in object storage, for example, or export metadata if you want to the metadata for that service, if you need for understanding more about your image upload right now, and if you need recreate the instance again the next month, for example. But now I'm going to test with image. First, we need to type the commodity ID. The commodity ID is similar to say product ID. So I'm going to say product 1, and for every product it's great if you have more than 1 image, because for training obviously you need the same image in different position or regions for training better. So I'm going to call image 1. I'm going to select. I select a shoe. Pretty simple. I'm going to select automatic recognition. So I'm saying image search, you have to detect where the object is in that image. I'm not going to do that. The category of that image, I'm not going not select that category, because again I'm saying to image search, you have to detect the category because it's your job, not mine. And add some context. For example, here say image test image for return in the search engine, and add another attribute, for example, an integer or a string. So I'm going to train. and is trained. So detect the category ID 4. What is the 4? 4 is shoes. So it detects the image is a shoe. The region detects the shoe is in that region, and success true. Great. But I'm going to upload 2 more images right now. The second one is not the same shoe, but in testing we are saying it's the same, but no problem here. And again, test image 2, okay, and a third shoe, and it's not the same, it's not the similar, but we're assuming that in this context. And test image 3, and here again the name is different, but the product ID is the same. And okay. And also we are training a second product, so with a name image 4, and the second product is a snack. And test image 4. So now it's trained, but this image has the category ID 6. What is 6? Is snack. So also detect snacks. So here detects everything. Detect digital devices, underwear, toys, furniture, beverage, cosmetic, etc. And another is another type of product who is not in that category. Really great. Now I'm going to test with another image. So I'm going to change here in search by image. Search by image is for testing. I'm select search by pic because here I can search by name, but I don't want to. I want to search with one new image. For example, this shoe. This shoe is similar are another shoes uploading before, but it's another angular, is another photo, it's not the same photo. Also, I say to image search, you have the job for recognize the region, and as this is a search engine, what is the number of image in the results? I say, okay, and you can see, you see 3 products or 3 images searched or found in that context. Everything in the product ID, product 1, and in a particular order, because the text, the third image, image 3, it's more similar than another image for that test, and another custom content, for example, test image 3, test image 2, etc. And as every search engine, you can get metadata. For example, search time, docs found, and docs returns, and the category IDs for everything, and the category ID for your image. Let's test again and test with another snack, and again I have one image found with category ID 6, it's the product 2. Great. So now if I have a search engine with products, so you can imagine the opportunities or imagine it in your project what you can do with that. Obviously, it's more interesting if you can connect that service with API or SDK with Alibaba Cloud for using in your big projects. But this demo is for understand this service and what you can do with that. So I'm going to change to the presentation again. We looked at a demo, and here is a learning path for machine learning as services as image search and others in current learning path, and the new specialty certification for machine learning if you want to certificate your knowledge and experience with Alibaba Cloud, and the documentation of image search if you need to learn more about that great service. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening to me, and I hope you can create new projects with this service, this an amazing service and artificial intelligence service for us, and I hope see you in a next conference. Thanks. And you can follow me in that LinkedIn profile, and see you again in a next conference or in another instance. I hope you can enjoy the rest of Roopu Cloud Summit 2020.
Well, welcome to this Roopu Cloud Summit 2020, today, Thursday, September 24th. Thank you so much again for joining. This means a lot to us. I introduce myself. I'm Alberto. I'm co-founder of Roopu Cloud. I'm one of the organizers of this event. Apart of that, I'm Alibaba Cloud MVP since 2018, which I was selected in 2018, 2019, and this year in 2020. Apart of that, last year, 2019, I went to the Apsara conference in China, in Hangzhou, where Alibaba Cloud headquarters are, and I was selected as top 1 MVP globally, which I'm super happy. I can't describe with words how good it feels. So yeah, today we are going to talk about cloud native, Alibaba Cloud Serverless. So we are going to introduce a bit from a top level perspective the Alibaba Cloud ecosystem to really launch this serverless, right? What is serverless? Well, let's do it. So yeah, what is serverless? This buzzword everyone talks about. It needs to be serverless. It needs to be serverless. Why? What it is? Why is good, right? So to start, serverless is a cloud computing paradigm. In terms of you can design a whole platform in serverless. Serverless is not just something that needs to be just one part or just a tiny bit. No, a whole application can be serverless, from the front end, the back end, and the database, all the logging, processing, everything can be serverless. Is one of the main characteristics of serverless is the pay for use. So with the difference, if we compare with the traditional virtual machines approach, where you have a virtual machine 24 hours, they're waiting for requests, imagine that your website has only 500 visits in one day. So 500 visits, every request takes 30-40 milliseconds to process. We are talking that in the whole day, in 24 hours, that server is just working in total just a couple of seconds, really. But you are paying the whole 24 hours of compute and memory. And that, if you translate that to a data center, imagine how unused a data center is if most of the servers, they're just there waiting to fulfill requests, right? Another property of serverless paradigm is application centric. So you don't need to know a lot about Linux or packages, Debian, CentOS. You really don't need to know not much about system administration. You just write the code, you upload it to the platform, and it runs. You really don't need to know anything else. Just connect the bits with each other, and that's it. So it really accelerates all the development time. Why it's so important? Yeah, why everyone is talking about serverless? Well, the most important thing, the one that touches everyone's wallet, more bang for your buck. It's as clear as this. You just pay for the milliseconds your application is using a CPU or memory. For example, if I run 10 requests in a day, every request is a half a second, and it consumes 128 megabytes. So in total, we're just using 5 seconds that server in the day. In this case, we're just going to be charged just a couple of cents, or not even that, for that service, because even there is a free threshold that you can use without paying. So this means it's more efficient. As I was telling before about the data centers, this is becoming super important right now with the environment, as there is a lot of electricity spent in just cooling down all the servers. There's a lot of heat generated in the data centers, in the server rooms, and it's becoming an actual problem. For example, this Alibaba, it has in the Qiandao Lake, has a data center that is cooled down by using lake water, and that reduces a lot the bill for running that services. That translates, of course, into a better price for the customer. But imagine that in the extreme of situations, every client of Alibaba Cloud every platform running there is serverless. It means that instead of having, 40-50% of resources just waiting and being completely unused, the usage, it will be close to 100%, which is really good for you, for your wallet, for the environment, for Alibaba, for everyone, even for the engineers working there. It requires less maintenance. As I was telling before, you don't need to know about Linux, you don't need to know about security patches. That everything is completely taken care by Alibaba. You don't need to worry. You just launch the application, that's it. You just focus in your business logic. And of course, improve return of investment. If your application costs less to run, you can keep the price of your platform if you have a SaaS platform, or you can just reduce the price to become more attractive and improve the competition with the other platforms there. Typical use cases. So here a really good example is microservices. Microservices in terms of this platform, if you're not very familiar with this, these platforms like the classic, the traditional architecture was just one monolithic application where everything, all the logic runs in one package. In this case, microservices is every part of the application is a small service. They talk between them using APIs, so the responsibility of each part is really little. That increases the security, and it makes it way easier to scale properly, because maybe one service is not very well used, but another service of that application is being hammered the whole time. In that case, you just scale that part and that's it. You don't need to scale the whole thing, not knowing really what's going on. Recurring tasks, if you know about the cron jobs, this example comes to my mind. If you are running, imagine 2 backups per day to a database, you have a server in the corner of an office, or a cloud server, a virtual machine running, say, at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. You are running a backup. It takes 1, 2, 3 minutes to run, and then the server stays there waiting until the next window of backup. In this case, if you use serverless, well, if you use the backups from a serverless approach, you just pay for that 3 minutes at 8 in the morning and another 3 minutes at 8 p.m. In total is 6 minutes of usage instead of 24 hours. So that already decreases a lot. It can be more than 90% of reduction in the bill. And yes, artificial intelligence, that's a really big one here, because artificial intelligence, machine learning, they require a lot of compute usage for training models and things like that. So instead of having your resources the whole day, they're just waiting, you just use a couple of seconds every model training, that's it. The GPUs are extremely expensive. So yeah, this is the specialist scenarios we were talking. One of them is serverless Kubernetes. For the ones you don't know, Alibaba Cloud have what is, in my opinion, the best Kubernetes implementation out there. It replicates the whole control plane natively in the interface of Alibaba Cloud. It has everything. You can deal with deployments. You can SSH in the cluster, in the master node. You can do everything from the panel. It has a really great integration with Terraform. So, and plus it lets you create serverless clusters, and just takes a couple of seconds to be created. You launch a pod or a deployment, you just create a deployment, launch it, within seconds Elastic Compute instance is there, executing as a node with the compute, the CPU and the memory you require. And the moment the pod stops working, if there is nothing else, the compute instance just naturally dies and you don't get charged. This it can be used for using GPU on demand, which is very useful for the example I was telling before of artificial intelligence and machine learning. You just get a GPU, throw whatever job you want to schedule, it runs, it dies, that's it. So it's really for me, when I discovered this back then, I didn't want to go back to any other cloud for Kubernetes, to be honest. And of course, serverless is really useful for SaaS platform, software as a service, which is this type of web applications that you get a subscription, you pay every month, or you pay every year, and then you get access to a couple of tools online. This, since as the owner of a SaaS product, you don't want to worry about how well it scales. You want to be sure that it runs perfectly fine with one user, or with 1,000, or with 1,000,000. Well, funny story, we do have a SaaS platform in our company, in Roopu Cloud. It's serverless and it's completely based in the Alibaba Cloud ecosystem. It runs better when there is a lot of users using the application at the same time than when it's just a couple of users using it. It doesn't mean that when there is just one or two users it's slow, no, it's fast. But when you measure the time of the request, you find that the application actually accelerates as the more users that log in at the same time. Is one of the gotchas when you understand how serverless works. So I'm going to introduce a tool, Alibaba Cloud Mate, which is Alibaba Cloud Fun. This is a serverless tool to really deploy with a config file. You can set up an API gateway, you can set functions, you can set a database, you can connect things between, you can create even the API endpoints. And this is made for Alibaba Cloud by Alibaba Cloud, so it works pretty well. So this is the platform I was talking to you about. Zero-Solid is zerosolid.com. It's a multi-cloud platform where you can create a free account and deal and manage different virtual machines in many cloud providers like Amazon. You can use in Tencent, in Alibaba Cloud, in DigitalOcean, and more to come. And this platform is completely based in serverless and is made just with fun. So I'm going to introduce you a bit how to deploy something with fun, and also that will help you to understand what's the tools, what's the ecosystem of the most common bits of Alibaba Cloud serverless. So as you see, you have this folder structure. You have a YAML file, which is the template, is where you define the login you want to use, the functions you use, the language of the functions. You can define the database in table store. You have the Swagger file, which is also in YAML. This Swagger, as you may know, is the standard to create APIs, and the endpoints, the responses, the parameters, everything. So you can create your API just with Swagger. In this case, our platform is fully made in Node with the SDKs of all the cloud providers, where we abstract all the logic of the APIs and then we create our own. And this is the environment file for the environment variables. As you can see, access key secret, key ID, the account ID, region, and timeout, which is the basic information that you set up to just launch this in your Alibaba Cloud account. Don't try these keys because they don't work, they are fake. Just if someone is trying to, I say the time. So a classic request of how a user goes into the platform and makes a request and how the flow works is, there you have, there is the user. The user makes a request to the website or the web application that is stored in OSS, which is the object storage service of Alibaba Cloud. This is a bucket that is serving as a hosting for the website. The frontend in OSS makes the request to the API gateway, which is the middleman to really know where to send that request. In our case, the API gateway executes one of the functions in function compute, which is just takes a couple of milliseconds, does the logic, and then returns. Function compute for authentications of users, for storing all the information of the preferences, the accounts, and everything. It uses table store as the database. Table store is based in tables and is really easy to use, really cheap to be honest, and very performant when used in conjunction with function compute. And everything gets logged in the log service. So every request, everything that goes well, every error, or even every console logging we want to push to the log, it gets stored there. So now you might think, so how you log all this stuff, like how you have this visibility of what every part of the application is doing. Well, it's very easy. There is only 3 steps. One, the logic gets executed in function compute, Node, Python, PHP, which also Alibaba Cloud supports PHP in function compute, so you can have serverless PHP natively. The function compute sends the events to the log service as we saw before, and then the log service stores JSON files in the object storage service. In this case, you can choose every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes send a log, or when it reaches certain size, it just starts a new chunk. So yeah, this is how you get to see what's going on in your application. Well, thanks for watching. This was all a very brief introduction of how Alibaba Cloud works, especially serverless Kubernetes. Have a look, because it's a really good platform. It's really well made. Think about Alibaba, how instead of creating their own container service, they just adopted standards. In this case, Kubernetes, and in the past they have also Docker Swarm. So they had more time than other cloud providers to really implement it well. And so usually when you follow something in a documentation of Kubernetes, it usually works straight away in Alibaba Cloud, not like in other providers. Like you need to adapt a lot of the knowledge you have for that specific implementation. So anyway, well, feel free to follow me if you want to ask any questions about this. As I remember you, I'm the founder of Roopu Cloud with Pablo, my partner, and we are happy to really help you in any problem you have using Alibaba Cloud. We provide trainings. So, well, there you go. Have a nice day and enjoy the next one. See ya.
Hello guys, and welcome to the Roopu Cloud Summit 2020, the very first online conference of Roopu Cloud. My name is Pablo Puig, and I am the founder of Roopu Cloud. In this session, I'm going to give you an overview of the Alibaba Cloud security products. Remember that if you have any questions about this talk, this session, this summit, at the end of the session, I will left my contact details. Please contact me. So before we start with the products overview, it is important to understand the shared security responsibility model. So before we start with the products overview, it is important to understand the shared security responsibility model. What does shared mean? Alibaba Cloud and its customers are jointly responsible for the security of customers' applications built on Alibaba Cloud. As you can see in the picture, the top part is customers' responsibility and the bottom part is Alibaba Cloud responsibility. The customers are responsible only for the security of applications built on top or connected to the cloud. Customers must configure and use cloud products based on security best practices and build applications on these securely configured cloud products. Alibaba Cloud, on the other hand, is responsible for the security of the underlying cloud service platform and the infrastructure. This includes regions, zones, physical devices, virtualization solutions, cloud products, etc. Alibaba Cloud is also responsible for the identity management and access control, monitoring, and operations on the platform to provide customers with a highly available and secure cloud service platform. This topic is really huge and I could talk hours about it, but this is not the goal of this session. In this session, we are going to focus on the following topics: identity security, infrastructure security, business security, and data security. As you can see, there are specific security products for each group. Let's start. The identity security services. So first of all, Identity as a Service, also known as IDaaS, is a centralized platform that provides management over identities, permissions, and applications for enterprise users. You can use this service to integrate and manage identities in your office administration system, business system, and third-party software as a service systems. In this way, you can basically access all applications and services with one account. And this is really the main usage of IDaaS. Unfortunately, at the moment, it is only available in China and not in the rest of the regions, but it will come. So in the following picture, we see the common scenario where IDaaS and the service provider gateway are deployed on Alibaba Cloud and connected to the internal environment. Each time a user requests access to the service provider gateway, the identity of the user will be authenticated with IDaaS. All right, so let's continue with the Bastion host. It basically enables you to manage assets, operations and maintenance permissions in a centralized manner. You can also monitor all your O&M operations and reproduce O&M scenarios in real time. So this will facilitate identity authentication, access control, and operation audit. So basically, or in other words, you can use Bastion host to troubleshoot issues such as difficulties in the management of various assets, unclear responsibilities and authorities, or maybe difficulties in the backtracking of O&M events. It's easier to see it in a visual way. So the typical common scenario of the Bastion host is to configure it before the servers, so you can troubleshoot possible issues or authentications. Let's continue with the RAM, the Resource Access Management. This is probably the main or the most used service in Alibaba Cloud, together with the ECS instances. So RAM is an identity and access control service which basically enables you to centrally manage your users. Users means employees or humans, systems and applications. All right. You can also securely control the access of these users to your resources through permission levels and policies. RAM also supports very cool features such as MFA, multi-factor authentication. You can set also strong password policies. You can isolate the console users from API users, so you can distinguish between human users and API users, so to say, as well as you can define custom fine-grained authorization policies, or you can even authorize a group of users. And another cool feature is the use of temporary tokens using the security token service, the STS service. Very useful. So let's take a look into this picture, which describes in a visual way how RAM works. So as an example, let's say one user with an authorization policy is allowed to access an ECS instance. That's an example. Let's continue now with Action Trail. This service collects and saves operations records on Alibaba Cloud, including API call records triggered in the console. So it also supports operation records querying and saving the files to specific storage services so that you can afterwards analyze this data. By using all these operation records saved by Action Trail, as I said, for example, in OSS, in the operation, in the object storage service, users can perform security analysis, resource change tracking, and also compliance audit. So very, very important for the auditing services. Let's continue now with this picture, where you basically see the common scenario where Action Trail collects all API records from the RAM users and saves them into an OSS bucket for analysis, for afterwards analysis of the data. Typical scenario, for example, could be when a user shuts down an ECS instance. If you want to really know which user was it, you just go to the OSS bucket and choose the file in the data you want, or you think it was shut down, and you can see there all the API calls and get this information. So that was it for the identity security. Let's continue now with the infrastructure security services. Let's start with one of the biggest service of Alibaba Cloud. This is the anti-DDoS. This service provides protection against DDoS attacks. DDoS means distributed denial of service. But there are three different types of anti-DDoS service: the basic, the pro, and the premium. We are going to talk about the basic and the pro and the premium such as a group. So let's start with the basic. This is the typical scenario for basic. It basically provides protection against DDoS attacks to the ECS servers and up to 5 gigabytes per second for free. So it is for free and activated by default. However, or On the other hand, the Anti-DDoS Pro and Anti-DDoS Premium is different. They are designed for enterprises who deploy their resources on Alibaba Cloud by using the Massive Traffic Scrubbing Center, this one, resources of Alibaba Cloud. Both products work together with the Artificial Intelligence Protection Engine and adopt full traffic proxy to protect against high volume traffic attacks, as you can see in the picture. So this basically protects against attacks such as HTTP flood attacks, and it's really powerful. So let's continue now with the Web Application Firewall, WAF. This service, the top #1 in Asia Pacific, is the only Chinese product included in Gartner Magic Quadrant for web application firewalls. So you see how important it is. Well, WAF basically defends against common security threats reported by the OWASP. These threats include, for example, SQL injection, cross-site scripting, common vulnerabilities in web server plugins, web cell upload, or maybe also unauthorized access to cloud resources. Additionally, WAF also filters out massive numbers of malicious access attempts, which prevent leakage of web assets and data. So this ensures security and availability of web applications. So again, typical WAF scenario. WAF is just here protecting the web servers and the web applications, filtering the traffic, of course, from the internet. So next service, Cloud Firewall. It is the industry's first firewall as a service solution for public cloud environments. This means this product manages the access control policy from the internet to ECS instances, as well as between ECS instances in a centralized manner. So in other words, it basically checks the exposure to the internet and manages the access policies for public IP addresses in a centralized manner. It additionally controls the traffic between VPC networks, traffic on Express Connect instances, and the traffic generated by VPN-based remote access. So, in the following picture, you can see the typical scenario. Through the cloud firewall, the VPC with the internet access is managed in a centralized manner, and internet access is managed with a fine-grained controls. So it will be filtered, and you can configure which traffic is allowed and which traffic is denied. Let's continue with the security center that was called before Security Guard. Security Center is a unified security management system that recognizes, analyzes, and triggers alerts based on security threats in real time. It integrates very good with the ECS instances and providing them security capabilities such as ransomware protection, antivirus protection, and compliance assessments. Users can automate security operations, and that's really key because this safeguards the cloud and local service and helps to meet the regulatory compliance requirements. So the typical scenario is that Security Center agent is installed in the server, in the ECS instance, providing security again against vulnerabilities, threats, and attacks against it coming from the internet. Security Center periodically detects vulnerabilities and performs baseline checks on your cloud services. And in addition, you can fix and monitor the detected vulnerabilities and items with risky configurations. That's really important for the monitoring and troubleshooting. So now, let's continue with the business security services. Let's talk about the content moderation, which is an intelligent multimedia content recognition service that supports basically detection of images, videos, texts, and audio. This means, or in other words, content moderation is basically used to recognize objects in your videos, images, texts, or audio that you don't want to have them. It is, for example, commonly used to recognize pornographic, violent scenes, terroristic scenes, or other sensitive content types. Another cool thing is that this service, the content moderation, can also detect advertising images, such as logos and QR codes. The antibot service detects and identifies web crawlers. That's the key and the goal of the antibot service. It basically reduces the impact of web crawlers and automation tools on your website and provides comprehensive protection for web pages, apps, and APIs. The service protects your business in scenarios such as, for example, scrapping of airline tickets, or scalping in e-commerce activities, or credential stuffing, maybe even also malicious tickets or credit brushing. So it's really powerful to protect your web applications, HTML websites, mobile apps, and APIs. Let's continue now with the data security services. We will talk about, first of all, the key management service, commonly known as KMS, which basically is a secure and easy to use cryptographic service that provides key management functions, such as, for example, key hosting and cryptographic operations. It also provides built-in security best practices, such as key rotation, and integrates with many other cloud products, for example, OSS, where allowing users to encrypt and protect sensitive data. You can easily protect, manage, use, and audit cryptographic keys on Alibaba Cloud. So the typical scenario for KMS is data encryption and data decryption, as shown in the picture. All right, let's continue now with the GameShield. It is a customizable network security solution, which is designed especially for the game industry. So it basically kind of has the same capabilities as Anti-DDoS Pro, but GameShield can defend against high traffic DDoS attacks. We are talking about terabyte level attacks. So this solution basically reduces protection costs and provides a better security. So in the following picture, you can see the typical scenario. Through the coding of proprietary protocols, GameShield can defend against connection floods that are unique to the game industry, as well as against DDoS attacks. So the last security service I'm going to talk today in this session, and it's about the SSL certificate service. That it basically, as you already know, implements HTTPS for websites and allows to apply, purchase, and manage SSL certificates on the Alibaba Cloud platform in a really easy and fast way. So that was it for the security products overview. But before we finish, I would like you to remember you about the Alibaba Cloud Security certifications. My friend Chirag Nair in his session already talked to you in detail about the Alibaba Cloud certifications, including the associate level and the professional level, or the ACA and the ACP. If you want to learn more about cloud security in Alibaba Cloud, or you just want to be recognized as a cloud security expert, I highly recommend you to take the certifications. They are really good to learn and also to challenge yourself learning new things. They are, I highly recommend them. I already did the ACA security certification, and it was really, really cool to learn new cloud security services in the Alibaba Cloud platform. I would like you to remember also that you can get ACA certification exam vouchers for free just in this summit. So use this opportunity. And also I would like to remember you that we are offering a 10% discount in all our courses just for 1 month. So don't miss this opportunity and let's get certified. That was it for my side. If you have any questions, you can find me on LinkedIn, or you can just send me an email and I will answer your questions as soon as possible. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this session as well as the summit. See you in the cloud.
With other customers and also with our
Hey, welcome to Roopu Cloud Summit 2020, which is in the collaboration with Alibaba Cloud and Alibaba Cloud Academy. Thanks for tuning in, and thank you Roopu Cloud team for organizing the fully packed Alibaba Cloud sessions, which I believe will be helpful for everyone who is new as well as experienced, who started learning the Alibaba Cloud. So my name is Chirag, and today I am going to share about how anyone can start their Alibaba Cloud certification journey. So this topic is very near to my heart, and I always love to share like what kind of preparation, what kind of resources, and what kind of especially mindset required when we talk about Alibaba Cloud certification. So let me start. Let me share the presentation. I have a small presentation which I will cover in next 30 to 40 minutes, and I will share tips. So let's get started. Okay, so as I mentioned that this is in the collaboration with Alibaba Cloud Academy. It is a support. Due to this, the whole jam-packed day is happening. So my name is Chirag, and a bit intro about me, that I started my career in 2016. I'm playing a role as a cloud pre-sales company named Cloud Kinetics, which is in the consulting ecosystem of cloud platform, as well as I have a couple of cloud certification, and I have recently cleared the Alibaba Cloud Professional Cloud Computing, which I would like to talk more. And I am one of the co-organizer for the user group Alibaba Cloud Singapore, and this is my YouTube channel link. You will find a lot of Alibaba related content on my channel. I love to create the tutorials to share with the community, so we all can learn cloud together. So the agenda for today's talk is like why you need to think about Alibaba Cloud Platform. So what is the force behind the Alibaba Cloud Platform, and what are the value of certification here, why we are going to talk, and why someone need to consider about the certification. After that, I will jump directly to what kind of certification tracks, role-based certifications are there. So what kind of tracks and what you need to know about the certification exam, or what you can expect, like what kind of questions and how much time, all those things I will cover. And then at the end, I would like to share the resources, and you can drop your Q&A in the chat. So starting with why Alibaba Cloud. Alibaba Cloud is not a new, so they are expanding exponentially. Like presently they have around 21 regions globally, in which include 63 availability zone, which is the multiple cluster of physical location which become a one availability zone. So you can understand it's a huge infrastructure which they expand already globally. As well as recently they commit that Alibaba is going to invest around $28 billion in the next 3 years. So that is the commitment that they are going to increase their infrastructure, more R&D, as well as the more expansion. So that is where the scope is, because cloud is no longer a new term, because cloud is involved in every industry, every vertical. So that is where Alibaba Cloud is playing a major role. As well as the 2020 Gartner report, Alibaba Cloud is one of the niche player. So you need to consider, because while we talk about the industry, it is no longer a day that any enterprise or any segment of a business will stick with the one cloud. Multi-cloud is also a very normal thing nowadays. So that is where Alibaba Cloud is getting the traction as well as good use cases. They have, again, as I mentioned, the infrastructure part. So Alibaba Cloud is having around 2800 plus CDN nodes globally, apart in which 2300 plus in mainland China and 500 plus in the other part of world. And the important thing I would like to share, which really a driving force behind me to learn about Alibaba Cloud Platform, it's about their 2019 Double 11 record. It is something like, you can say, the Black Friday or Cyber Monday from the West world. The Double 11 happened in China, and this is itself a record of $35+ billion of sales in 24 hours. The reference link is in the presentation, so you can read the case study. This really what I can say kick in my mind that how they are able to manage, because in the case study while you will reading, you will find a peak transaction is more than 500,000 per second. So without losing a single transaction and giving the same kind of user experience to each and every user, that is itself a tremendous thing. So read the case study, it will help you to understand the way how Alibaba Cloud is expanding and how they are managing and what kind of services reliability they are providing. So now coming to the topic part, is certification worth? Because when we talk about certification, there are always two sides. Some people say yes, certification is required, some say no. So I would like to cover or put more time here to explain like what actually you need to understand first before taking the call whether you need to proceed for certification or not. So certification has its value if you really know that how to leverage it. Let me tell you bluntly that passing a certification will not give you anything if you don't know how the things are actually working, how you are supposed to perform any operation or any design pattern on the platform. Academics is a one part, watching tutorial is another part, passing exam is another, but doing the delivery with the proper customer satisfaction, that is the most important. So certification, I would like to say it's a game changer, because if you coming from the experience world as well as from the different vertical, you need to know that how you can leverage. First of all, cloud is nothing new. Cloud is an add-on to your existing experience. All those technology, whatever you have learned, somehow it will be part of the cloud ecosystem, and using the Alibaba Cloud, you can leverage your existing learning. Certification are just a way that it will push you to learn, because if there is no target date, then as a human tendency, we will not bother to put efforts. That is where this certification come into picture, that yes, you need to set the target date, and then you need to start exploring as well as leveraging your existing experience, and then on the day of exam you will feel it will be much ease, and the way you will start learning, it will help you to build your strong foundation. That is where, like, it's my personal belief about the certification. Some people say not required. It's okay if they are ready or they are ready to put the effort. It's person to person. But if you are people like, because most of us are like that we need some kind of a target there, then only we will start putting the effort. That is where certification will add the value, and it will surely help you to learn, to clear your foundation, and then exams will be just, I can say, will be much easier if you already worked and perform on the platform. So think about that, and then plan your certification journey. So now coming to what kind of certification are available on Alibaba Cloud platform. So here they have the three different, what I can say, the role based one is a cloud computing, which I found covering the core services which is required to do the designing for the, let's say, lift and shift, as well as the migration part or the basic setup. And then after that, the two specific track which is covering the big data as well as security. So there are total around 8 exam. Even the newly updated, they have added the 2 more. I don't want to cover that it's right now, because let's start with the basics, because basics, once it will be clear, then you can jump to the specific, like the cloud native thing, as well as the special exam for the database specific, like cloud native enterprise database. So I'm coming to these track, and I would like to share like what you can expect. So cloud associate cloud computing exam, which cover the core product, which included like server load balancer, auto scaling, ECS, OSS, which is the object storage service, as well as the database, plus general cloud computing concept. It is for everyone. It will help you to learn the basic and to build your confidence around the platform, so you can play with the associate level cloud computing certification. And if you are coming from a different background and you want to enter into the cloud career, this can be the good entry point. But let me tell you, it will not cover everything. It is kind of a foundation and fundamental level exam. Exams are much easier if you know the basics, and if you don't know the basics, then I am pretty sure you will be able to struggle even in this exam. So make sure to learn to know the basics of cloud, and then Alibaba Cloud Platform, like how their infrastructure is designed, how the core services are attaching, or how they are coordinating with each other. So in this exam you will find 50 question, and it is 100 marks exam, and 90 minutes will be allotted, and the distribution of questions will be 30 single answer, 10 multiple choice question, as well as 10 true false kind of a question. So start with this. You will build your confidence, and then you can think about to go for the next level, like the pro level is there, which is for the intermediary as well as the expert level, which I am coming in couple of minutes. So in the associate track, another, as I mentioned, there is a different role based big data and security is there. Again, if you coming from, you already perform the big data and you are trying to learn the Alibaba Cloud, then this will surely help you to understand. Security is always a big concern when we talk about cloud. So there are again multiple layers at which security need to be considered, as it's a shared responsibility model. So security track is very good to explore about what are the out of box tools are available and what kind of responsibility model need to be followed to do a successful implementation or migration on Alibaba Cloud Platform. So these two associate level exam are also covering, but here you will get 60 questions rather than in associate cloud computing you will get 50. Here it's 60. Again, the marks are 100 marks, and you need to you will get 90 minutes. Again, the passing scores are nearby 60. So minimum for all the associate exams, 60 is the passing score. You need to achieve minimum 60 marks to achieve this certification, and the maximum is 100 marks. So for big data, you will see 30 single answer question, 10 MCQ, and 20 true false kind of. In security, there is no true false. It's 40 single answer and 20 MCQ for the security. So make sure to prepare to understand. Few questions are very basic, few you really need to know the product specific, the service specific, then you will be able to find the right answer from the option, because there is always a trick in the question. So read it properly and you will be able to easily crack. Coming to the professional certification, for this IT experience is required. It is not that you just started, you just watched the course. That can be there, even you can pass the exam, but really then after achieving this certification, the expectation will be high that you really know in and out of Alibaba Cloud Platform. So I highly suggest, if you are planning to appear for professional or the upper level track after professional, have a good experience, learn, because there is nothing that you need to achieve all the certification in one go. It may be a multi-month or multi-year journey. It depends upon like what kind of industry you are and how much experience you are getting and what kind of job profile and job task you are performing. So professional certification is really covering testing your IT knowledge. For the freshers, I suggest not to stick with the associate level, because professional level, as I mentioned, IT knowledge is required. So in this track also, professional level certification, there are 3 different job role kind of track. Again, one is for the cloud computing, which is covering the architect part. I recently appeared and really it's a good exam. It is like an intermediate level. Again, it's not too tough, and even it's not too, what I can say, easy, but good tricks are there. So 70 question, 100 marks and 90 minutes. These exams are not only testing your knowledge, but the time management overall kind of things also get tested, that you need to aware that how to manage the time, where you need to spend. You will be able to struggle by reading some lengthy questions. So overall it will test you that yes, it will I can say push your brain to think, and you need to take a decision as quickly as possible, because the clock will start clicking and when you start the exam. So for the big data exam, 60 questions will be there with 100 marks, and 120 minutes will be allotted, and 80 questions for the security exam. And all these exam is a mix of again 3 kind of questions. One will be the single answer, then multiple choice, as well as true false. So make sure professional certification, you need to really know about in and out of IT. The basics must be clear. In the basics, I always suggest compute, storage, networking plus SQL. SQL is also a very important thing. So prepare, have clear your basics, then you can start your journey, and then this certification will add value, because as I mentioned that after passing certification, the expectation will be different from the people whom you are working. So make sure prepare. So coming to the expert certification track, this is really where you will get tested about the complexity and the possibility of any architecture. So you really need to know what kind of design pattern you need to assume or you need to deploy, as well as what kind of risk mitigation. Once you will be comfortably able to perform the task on a platform, then only this exam will make sense, because this exam will really test the deep dive knowledge and understanding about platform, including your existing IT experience. So that is where it is known as an expert level certification. So this track consists of a 2 exam, 2 different role base. One is a cloud computing, covering from the architect mindset perspective, which consists of 75 questions, 150 marks is the max, and you will get 150 minutes to complete this exam. And the big data will get you will see 50 questions in the big data track, 100 marks is here, and 150 minutes will be allotted. So security for expert certification track is coming soon, so stay tuned. If you are already into the security and you have done the previous tracks, so you can appear. One important part, I believe I would like to highlight, that there is no prerequisite. You can directly jump to even experts level certification, but there is no prerequisite that you need to have the professional or the associate level. It is something, the step-by-step journey, but if you feel comfortable, if you've done enough work on the platform, then you can directly subscribe or purchase or book, schedule any exam, and way to go. So the expert level exam are not having true false kind of thing. It consists of a single answer as well as MCQ, but trust me guys, it's really the complex one, and I can say the tough one. So prepare, learn, practice, and then later you can think that yes, you can appear for the expert level certification. So let me share something that what you need to think. So associate levels are mile wide, like which is covering the multiple services, but it is covering from the fundamental level. When it comes to the professional level, again the services are not too much, again the core services, but little bit of deeper, testing the more understanding about those core product, like what can be the possibility of the solution, whether this will fit or this is available, or any kind of limitation or solution will doable or not. When it comes to the expert level, it is covering the wider area with the much deeper understanding about those services. So this is how I prepared the mindset that okay, when I talk about the expert level, it is not that I only need to think about the few services, but many services. It may be again your IT experience service or my IT experience service, that yes, that this can be possibility, and this may be, let's say in the hybrid architecture, this may work or this may not work. So keep remember and prepare according to that. Few tips: don't get confused with too many resources. This is another thing I would like to highlight. If you try to follow multiple courses to learn one track, you will get confused, because everyone has a different style of teaching. So follow one, do some R&D. I am going to share some resources also. So do some R&D, learn any training course will cover only 30 to 50%. Rest 50% will be your own understanding, your own practice, your own efforts. So make sure you put your proper amount of efforts rather than only relying on any course, because as I mentioned in the starting, that passing a certification will not give you everything. It is just a foundation level. The important thing is you need to open your Alibaba Cloud account, and you will get a free trial of core services which you can utilize to learn, test, because cloud is running with the rule of build fast, fail fast. The quickly you will fail, you can terminate and you can rebuild the environment. That is where the beauty of cloud come into picture, and Alibaba Cloud is giving the generous free trial which you can utilize. And then most of the people will ask, what should I build? I watched the tutorials, there are few basic things I have played in the console, but what should I build? So that is where I suggest maybe you can start, if you don't want to do the coding part, you don't want to write the application, but you want to get a taste of infra plus application, the WordPress or any such kind of CMS which can support the database and all the dynamic framework can help. So I built the WordPress application storing my database on RDS, MySQL, and on ECS the code is there. The SLB will be front end, so it will make the multi-tier and you can test. And then while doing the next level of learning, which is nowadays the containerization as well as the Kubernetes world, you can use the same code to learn the Docker part or making whatever the container runtime you want that to run on ACK. So this is how the step-by-step learning will come, and it will help you to clarify the thing as well as it become itself a real kind of a experience. So try to do, maybe if you have other way of learn or you want to play with other application, feel free, but make sure you play enough that you got the clarification on how all the parts are connecting and talking with each other. So resources, you can start with Alibaba Cloud Academy. I also watched the courses, the content is good, so you can follow, don't go any other places. If you find other place, then follow that, then don't follow the Alibaba, because as I mentioned that following multiple resources can lead to confusion, because learning one thing and spending the 3x or 4x of time, I suggest to stick with the one learning platform, one course, and whatever the time you can plan or target it, you can plan, put maximum time on practice playing in console, and you will build your own troubleshooting skill as well as the confidence. After that, Reddit. So such kind of forum I found is much better, and as well as I can say gold mine. You will find lot of queries, because it is true that we will not encounter each and every scenario in our work. So that is where the communities and the forums came into picture, that you can read what kind of problems people are facing, and there are a lot of good solution and answers are there, which you can get the idea that if such kind of issue encountered, how you are going to mitigate it. So read, spend some time, find out your favorite topics. If you think that another forum will work, go ahead, but read and understand and try to imagine, because imagination is bigger than knowledge, I believe. So if you can imagine, then surely there will be some way around there to troubleshoot any kind of problem. Then documentation and Coursera, also the courses are there, so if you want you can follow that. And Alibaba is doing regularly events and webinars. You can sign up if you want to learn about the new products, new services, the service enhancement. So you can sign up. That is for your upskilling, ongoing upskilling. It will help you to on the certification part also, but it is something after even certification, you don't need to stop studying or you don't need to stop following the things. You need always, because cloud is a everyday changing thing, new feature enhancements are coming. So make sure you spend time, you sign up for the webinars, whatever according to your interest, and join the events. You will get the latest updates which may help you to help your customer to improve their overall architecture on Alibaba Cloud, or maybe security, maybe some new services, maybe do the cost optimization. That is where connecting and knowing about what events and what services are coming is always important in the world of cloud. And community, if you have a local user group, so feel free to join. You will get a chance to meet with like-minded people, to know, share the thoughts, and feel free to contribute to the community. It will always help to build your own confidence. So guys, these are the tips and things I would like to cover in this session, and I believe you got the point about the certification, and all the best to your journey. And again, I would like to thank the Roopu Cloud team as well as the Alibaba Cloud and Alibaba Cloud Academy for organizing this, the whole fully, I can say the fully Alibaba Cloud packed day with a lot of knowledge by a lot of awesome speakers. So thank you everyone, and take care.